Does growing up in Boston raise your IQ? Episode 141. Is IQ contagious? Have you ever wondered why some of your childhood friends, classmates, or even people who you knew later in life did not do well in their lives, while others prospered? Well, IQ is probably the most important reason. And doesn't that seem unfair? Science has found no medical treatment to raise our IQ except, I'm told, that breastfeeding an infant raises his IQ a little. But neither can we change our other God-given attributes like good looks, athletic ability, height, body shape, and parents. Don't like that either, huh? The complaint department is on vacation, so take it up with God. If I remember correctly, my fourth grade nun at Cambridge's Blessed Sacrament School, after doing an IQ testing on the class, told me that my IQ was 125. But that doesn't help me with my bad ice skating, my lousy curveball, or my success with the ladies. According to Professor Jordan Peterson, our IQs are the average of both parents' IQs, less a little. I have begun to muse on an idea that my generation, that is, those in their 80s or above, who grew up in Boston in the 40s and 50s, might have had a big IQ boost and we never knew it. We had somewhat better living conditions. Therefore, maybe our IQs were elevated compared to previous generations. You may say, what about all of your podcast episodes where you described hard times and having to walk to school uphill both ways, etc.? Excuse me. Yes, my less than ideal conditions growing up was real and difficult, but all that does not negate my theory. No. That is all true, but I'm talking degrees of hardship in comparison to our parents. We were never fed better. We were fed better. We all went to school, and our schools were effective, and our families were intact. On that last point, no kid in my neighborhood was fatherless. Some fathers were less than perfect, but they were providing for and protecting their families. So our living conditions were greatly improved from our parents, who grew up in the really bad Depression years. I came to that theory after finding studies that prove that removing severe environmental bad stuff like pollution, lead, parasites, extreme malnutrition, and terrible schooling produces massive gains in IQ up to 15 to 25 points. So maybe those ameliorating studies apply only slightly to my generation. So what? If that's true, we'll take it. That may be the less gains in IQ because less bad stuff was removed as my generation came along. But living conditions were better for us than our parents. IQ, or general cognitive ability, has a significant effect on one's future, but it's not the only factor. It influences rather than guarantees probabilities. Here are the main areas which consistently show that IQ really matters. 1. Education is where IQ has the strongest relationship. There is a correlation between childhood IQ and eventual educational attainment. If you have a higher IQ, the odds are that you will complete more years of schooling, get higher degrees, and have better academic performances. People with about 115 IQ, above 115 IQ, are dramatically overrepresented in college graduates, advanced degrees, and the professions requiring long training. 2. Your occupation is another IQ factor. There is a correlation with the prestigious occupations and IQ. Higher IQ predicts success in the more complex, demanding jobs like doctors, engineers, lawyers, writers, scientists, software developers, and finance. Few people with IQ below 100 reach those complex professions. And 3, your future income and wealth is a third factor. There is another, more modest correlation with income. Very low IQ, 85 and below, strongly predicts poverty and welfare dependence. Very high IQ, 135 and above, increases chances of very high earnings. And finally, number 4, your future health and longevity is a surprising factor. Childhood IQ predicts your lifelong health and longevity. For instance, there is a correlation that shows that for each 15-point drop in IQ, there is a 25% higher mortality risk, according to studies. Higher IQ people tend to make better decisions, like smoke less, drink less, manage chronic conditions better, navigate healthcare systems more effectively, and have fewer accidents. Some of those good things can be attributed to higher education and to higher income, but a portion appears to be just having a higher IQ. So, to put it all together in plain language, people with IQs below 90 have a much harder life in today's modern situations. Things like schooling, getting a good job, staying healthy, and avoiding trouble. Those folks with 90 to 110 IQ, which is the average, have good outcomes, likely if they paired with good personality, lots of effort, and good opportunities. For those with 110 to 125 IQs, there is a clear advantage in education, in career, and other life paths. For those 130 IQs and above, there are very large advantages in complex fields, but there's no guarantee of happiness, wealth, or fulfillment. In fact, many very high IQ people are middle class or below. IQ is like having a higher horsepower engine. It provides more potential, but whether you win the race depends on the driver, the road conditions, the car setup, luck, and whether you really want to win the race. Although, as I listed above, IQ is of great importance, it is not the whole story. Many other factors often matter as much or more. Many people with modest IQs have a very fulfilling life, while some geniuses struggle with depression. So high IQ doesn't guarantee life satisfaction and happiness. According to those studies, people with above 120 IQ with other factors such as personality, work ethic, social skills, luck, choice of occupation, and location, especially location, are more likely to have a fulfilling life. So let me continue my musings. Could it be that those other factors, especially personality, social skills, and maybe a very important one, location, such as growing up in Boston, are as important as IQ numbers in our success in our future life? Metropolitan Boston places number 1 in America's smartest cities, edging out San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and others. Massachusetts consistently ranks number 1 in recent U.S. state-level IQ estimates. Several studies and estimates consistently place Boston and Massachusetts at or near the top among U.S. cities and states for cognitive and educational performance, which correlates strongly with IQ estimates. Boston's metro area, including Cambridge, with Harvard and MIT, drives much of this performance. This is due to elite universities attracting high-ability individuals and the extremely high concentration of highly educated residents. Bostonians have the highest rate of bachelor's and graduate degrees in the USA. So taking all my musings in mind, here are my questions. 1. If you are an average guy with an average IQ and grow up dealing with and getting along with Boston's high IQ, high performance folks, will that raise your IQ? 2. Does that give you a bonus in your likely success in life? And lastly, number 3, is IQ contagious? This is Rod Murphy. Thank you for viewing or listening to my YouTube and podcast episodes. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy them, please hit the subscribe button. Does not cost you anything, and it helps me to grow my audience. Again, my thanks.